Good morning, everyone.
Hi, how are you?
You're fine.
How was the traffic? Okay, good morning and hi, Razakins. I am Aini Sophia, your moderator for today's event, titled Reading, Translation, and the Trend of Books in Malaysia. We are honored to have a distinguished guest with us today. Besides me is the author, Mr. Kiridaran Jaya, the publisher and bibliophile. Would you like to introduce yourself and share your publication journey with us?
Okay. Started from Ebook. Ebook. My last job was when I also did vending during vending machine. Yes, this is how then later on I graduated and then my first job looking to like how to
So, what inspired you to author?
um, during how everything went from when I did a book, first making there. So if you ask me, when so if you ask me, where did you get it? Where did you get it? You did it. You didn't have it. Then you get it.
So, what current status of your position in terms of like I said, the outlet that evolving in 2025?
So it has been this year with the fourth year of book centers competition we this that auditorial book. So we are the translator. We are the translator publishing company for both with a lot of countries, Korea, also US, Australia. Right now, after 4 years, it's October week. 4 years. Okay, so we have one. Right now, we have 115. I anticipate we have 100 titles.
That's huge. So, let's dive into our discussion. There's a 10 question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Question 1. Based on the industry trends, everything habit, as you can see, there is people that prefer scrolling to YouTube, TikTok, and social media. So, what is your opinion on how to address these issues?
Actually, to be honest, the whole industry they were keeping them. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, the first yeah. No, I did get like the first the first instruction was when get first the first instruction Then now, we people are buying something. Reading is people still reading, but of course, sales are doing
The book recommendations and one of it,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. Because I also influenced by that.
yeah, so the problem with social media is you get a lot of reading part. I believe that's the thing.
So when I writing is as a publisher, I with the challenge of people planning to read. And they are more like you maybe prefer international author more than author.
Like me, but because we always do translated title, so our titles will be then have topic where uh, some of them ordered like hours and factor. The thing is, in Malaysia, the reading of the many, but there is a lot of trend. But in Indonesia, we are better. So, like, it makes the book basic. So, but how to inspire or how to motivate people to read is more like we need to make them read the key. It doesn't mean that sometimes now they are it's like reading
So what is your favorite genre and author so far?
when but when I was younger, I read a lot of non-fiction, self-help, recently I read more books like
More to classic book.
classical books for I used to read
So there are so many people here. If one day they want to become an author, what would your advice to them? Like the aspiring.
I myself didn't know like the became there are so many there are so many almost every people travel and then they for example you have a Malay book, you meet friends, your friends guy, so you eat your book, but what's that? course it's usually author. So there are few yeah, same thing. So project right. So right, they have their own right. So all this animation, book, anything yang not everyone loves yeah, okay. Go for you can become a publisher, publication agent, and then so literary agent, what you can do, you can collect all the so you can go to it takes time to build your you go to so one publication maybe they choose one. So usually it covers like the investment. Right, manager is the job that you can cover. These are the job biggest publication manager. They do a lot of
Just a minute. Yeah, so sure. Yeah, sure. Thank you. So there are a lot of opportunities for the work. There are a lot of work for the publication manager, but also opportunity for the publication manager. And to be an author, I would always say you can try to read more. To be honest, the only answer to be a good author is to read because you get a lot of ideas from around the world. The best thing, don't only read books from your country, try to read books from other countries as well. And it's okay kalau dalam bahasa Melayu pun boleh, even in Tamil, English, Mandarin. So get some the concept and make it into your own concept. For example, in Korea and in Japanese, dia ada banyak idea-idea, kita panggil dia magical realism lah. Dia, okay, you can go to an ice cream shop and the ice cream shop, they can, the person suddenly dia akan ubah. And there are some shops, there ada banyak jenis buku macam ni lah di Korea. So there are some shops that you can, it only appears if you are sad. If you are sad, for example, you jalan ke satu tempat, so there are shops that appear when you're sad. So ada something lah, sometimes mythical, sometimes normal human, sometimes old lady. So she will trade with you something. For example, you need to give her tears or something, maybe hair, for example lah story dia. And then dia bagi you something. So this kind of stories, kita boleh tukar ke ocean Malaysia. Contoh kita pergi Gunung Ledang and terserempak atau puteri Gunung Ledang, for example. Then and then you thought it's a mythical person and then betul-betul dia ada. Tapi not everyone can see and you ask her something. That kind of story, itu creativity itulah yang sometimes overseas pun they want to know about our culture. So this is how you can be a global author. But even you are very famous national author, like famous di Malaysia pun, itu pun satu success yang besar.
Okay. It's quite like very huge impact. So what is how do you actually like makes the connection to establish as you are right now?
Okay.
The connection that you start from there?
Actually, there'll be a lot of struggles in the early stage. Usually for publication, we need to find the titles, find the niche that I think it's not only for the book industry, it's for all the industry, business, even our work. Even as when you work, you must be good at something. But usually, my advice will be good at everything, be the best at one thing, something like that.
Be the best.
But of course, hard to be good at everything, but at least learn about everything because when you are if you how many of you, just a curious question, how many of you wants to, I mean, how many of you want to start a business after graduating ke, atau like anyone wants to start a business atau mungkin nak kerja dekat company besar ke, business related.
Me, one of it. Yeah.
So
I got like this, right? Maybe they are just shy today.
alright. So and then sometimes I think when we're young we are not sure what we want to do.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So like first, okay, I just share a small story like how I became a publisher. So when I was a bookseller, so I used to go Indonesia to take books, translated books. By the way, I do English books, but 80 to 90% of our books are in Malay. Okay, so we do a lot of translation, and translation would be 80%, 80 to 85% of all our books. So later you can have a look on our right side. Okay. So when I went to Indonesia, if you know Sunza Art of War, there's a book Art of War. So the Art of War book, a lot of people were asking. Okay, I just bought 40 books, but the amount of people asking was 120. 100 plus. I lost count, but it was 5 years ago. So then I saw, okay, there is a demand for this book. Then I learned how to make a book. I started. I don't know anything because I was a bookshop owner, bookseller. Yeah. So the bookshop was opened in July 2020. October 2020, I opened the publication. So our first book was Sunza the War. So from then we go for the other books, Little Prince, The Prince, this kind of books. We focus on one niche. You need to have starting point, and then you need to keep on learning, and then you need to find your own niche. Publisher, there are so many publishers. So maybe you might, if any readers are here, so there are Iman they focus on one thing. Patriots, they focus on one thing. So apa ni, Ijana or a lot of companies kan, they focus on each of their niche. So kalau nak jadi someone good at something, you need to get your own niche and focus on that. So niche kita translation. So from then I managed to gather some selling and then get some help, financial help, and then slowly from there it grows. Yeah.
So like, are you like personally good at writing? Maybe like kita dalam sekolah dulu kalangan teruk kan. Like, are you good at it since young, or you start learning it from workshop until like you can come out with the good writing? Yeah. I'm just curious about that.
When I was in my 23 to 26, I used to write a lot in Facebook. I used to write a lot on Facebook. I'm still writing on my first book, tapi belum keluar lagi lah. Dah lama dah, like 2022 sampai sekarang belum keluar. Sebab time and struggles of the idea sometimes. Okay. Actually, to be honest, dari waktu sekolah, memang suka baca. So lepas masuk universiti pun suka baca, but I focus more on the outside books. So maksudnya other than university books. Okay, of course you can be reading. Some people, there are some who really only read the university books and all that. Yeah. Tapi memang I couldn't. I was reading more on the outside materials, like bukan pasal education. I mean the degree that I'm doing other things because I love reading. But on the question of writing, I think since sekolah memang pandai menulis. Then after we read, there are 3 parts for reading, writing. So of course, you guys dah habis banyak penulisan dan sebagainya kan. Dia sebenarnya 3 je. How you start, how you end, very interesting. And then important things. Make sure you're writing. Even karangan biasa pun cikgu tulis untuk cikgu pun, at least cikgu tu they learn something and at least something that they want to learn, like even your normal social media posting, even IG. That's why when we go somewhere new or sharing something, people love to follow. Like kira lah, so IG ke, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter.
Yes.
We want to learn something new.
True.
So same with the books and same with writing, like that.
I can say that nowadays people like love to read, love to write on their story,
Yeah.
like the story status where they go, right? Yeah. So that's one. So there's one question. In this Gen Z, okay. Here, I recall, we need to involve digitalization and technology evolution. So, what is your opinion about the e-books? And I know that it is convenience, but there's a time that you guys, when you write it on paper, it feels different because in terms of profits, sharing, sometimes like, when you read on the tablet, the eyes can get like bad and having like bad eyesight. So what is your cons on ebooks?
Okay. Actually, it's a very good question because a lot of people thought that Malaysians, the first, okay, when tadi saya ada share kan, just now I shared on disruption smartphone. Lepas tu, first time ebook keluar. First time, I'm not sure which year, tapi actually ebook ni lama dah actually. I think 2010 macam tu, 2012.
It started from Kindle,
Yeah, Kindle, and then the digital PDFs.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was in university, so I read a lot of PDFs. So I think that era. Yeah. So itu second disruption sebenarnya. After ebook, first time ebook keluar, so jualan buku drop a lot. It took some time, like I think 4 years for physical book around the world, physical book selling around the world to heal balik, to normal balik, to become more normal balik. And dia ada dua masalah. Like in Indonesia, ebook ni banyak dibaca. Ebook like a lot of people are going for ebook. In Malaysia, ebook is like 1 to 2%. Actually, kita pun heran. Sebenarnya ramai yang membaca di Malaysia ebook, but still it's very very small amount, 2%, 3% maybe. I think one of the reason why Indonesia they go for ebook, I think because of the price and they can't afford it. Sebab internet is very easy. Internet, they love reading actually. Indonesian people, they love reading, and internet is cheap and easy to get, so they go for the ebook. And one more problem in Indonesia, buku-buku sana we call that cetak rompak. Sama lah, like movies pun ada cetak rompak kan. So buku-buku sana ada bajakan. We call that in Indonesia bajakan. So cetak rompak in Indonesia is rampant. PDF lagi banyak distributed. In Arabic country atau negara-negara Arab pun banyak PDF akan distributed. Di Malaysia kurang, but in Shopee, for example Shopee, if you love reading ebook, but I don't support that. But if you want to read cheaply, if you love reading but money is a problem, dekat Shopee, which I don't agree at all, ada orang jual PDF buku-buku yang popular, which is like RM1 je. Buku tu RM60, like physical. I can't believe it that they can sell for RM1, and ramai orang dah complain, but they still, because when we close one shop, they can always come up with another shop. So that's the power with digital shop. So so ebook in Malaysia is not that high. And one more thing, I think we use a lot of online for work, for our studies, for everything, and social media especially. In Malaysia, I think top 5 penggunaan social media dan juga internet in the whole world actually. Yeah, in other countries they have high fast speed internet, but they do a lot more. Like of course they are active in social media, but they walk a lot. For example, kita macam mostly in Grab, LRT, we travel a lot. Kita less walking kan, so itulah.
So like I think you, based on your your explanation just now, have you always like go to Indonesia, like, or how often that you go there?
In 2018-19, I used to go a lot, like
1 month, every one. I mean, once a month, or once every 2 months, 3 months. But now, very less. 2000 after the PKP, after the
yeah.
first, I think March 2020, really reduced.
So that based on your point of view, what they prefer to read, like is there any certain specific genre that they love, or
Indonesian.
yeah, in Indonesia,
Uh,
since you travel there?
Indonesians, they really love fiction and then motivation, self-help, but their self-help sedikit berbeza from the overseas punya self-help. I'm not sure if you read macam Boy Chandra, those kind of thing. Okay, kalau Malaysia kita panggil healing, but not the short 4 sentence punya pages. That not that length. It has more word, like usually 1 page. It's a writing, it's a writer. Tapi they motivate you to be strong. Itu satu trend.
That macam poem and
Betul. Actually, they started first, then kita follow lah trend tu. And then their fictions, their non-fictions, they have a very strong readership on in non-fiction titles. They have very strong readership.
So like you took like the book from overseas, like for example, like you took book from overseas and then you translate it. So based on your as a author, as a publisher, like actually like how local books need to compete with the international authors, like how
Okay.
is
Siapa di sini dah tengok Secret Girl or Gadis Kretek from Netflix?
What?
Gadis Kretek atau Secret Girl from Netflix? Oh, belum tengok? Oh, okay. Tapi dah tengok?
No.
Yeah, okay. So there's this book from Indonesia. They made it into Netflix. So when they made into a Netflix series, so buku tu 2012 ke 2015. Tapi 15, 16, 17, it sold well and all that. But 2023, I think 23 or 24, 23, I think I forgot. Yeah, 23. They made into a Netflix series kan. The book sold again for 30,000, 40,000. And in Malaysia, we did the Malay version. Itu baru Indonesia. So I think in Malaysia, our Malay books should be made into Netflix series. Tapi sebenarnya novel cinta dan sebagainya, they are making into drama, but we don't watch actually. It's in TV3, the normal TV show in Astro. So they use book to convert into drama. But I think there are a lot of potentials if kalau kita boleh tukar buku jadi Netflix series, movie, so they will help the book sales. I think itu yang kita lack from overseas. And then the covers, we need to compete with Indonesia and also actually Indonesia, Japan, Korea, they have the most beautiful cover. But sometimes English, US, UK kan pun ada cover yang baik, cover yang cantik. The next thing I would say, our quality, we need to write globally. We need to write for global audience. Of course, kita tulis untuk pembaca kita Malaysia, tapi try to think that okay, buku ni mungkin akan translate. So most of them, they write because they never think about the global market. So kita kena try untuk combinekan benda tu.
I see. Because like in Singapore, like there's a Wadah bookstore,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
It is about religious book there.
Yeah.
I love their books.
Yeah.
So I think that Asia should have that kind of mentality to maybe to export globally in terms of like writing also.
In Malaysia, we have one shop like that in Nur Inai bookshop.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, Nur Inai. So if you love Wadah, Nur Inai. Tapi of course, they sell a lot of Islamic books in English. So Wadah and Nur Inai ni.
So this one is a bit hot question, we call. Okay, so recently there is a famous local author included the adult content in a novel. So it become a controversy. What is your thought about that? Especially romance novel in Malaysia.
Okay. Okay. Actually, the book became a problem because they were selling to underage people.
Mhm.
So the thing should be stopped immediately. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sebab like 14, 15, but that's the thing, hard to control if digital kan, like
Mhm.
English. So like uh, in uh, in English sebenarnya ada titles macam kita panggil dia dark romance. Usually cover dia hitam-hitam,
Oh
macam
yeah.
50 Shades in a Grey ke? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
in a Grey, something like that. Ada lupa tajuk tu. So that kind of title, they want to copy the same thing in Malay. So dia jadi macam tu lah. So I don't think so younger people, young kids, 14, 15, 16 should read that. But they need to do it in moderation because I understand if 30s, 40s, 20s they want to read, we cannot stop them. But they need to do that in moderation.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
one more thing, tapi saya tak pasti sebab I don't read. I don't read. Even the English one I don't read. But they shouldn't legalize, bukan legalize, apa normalize raping, even by the loved ones ataupun character, the male characters, they shouldn't normalize raping. Raping ni bukan macam yang the only one that we saw on TV kan. Sebenarnya without consent pun dia rape. So sometimes the author pun dia tak pasti apa tu rape dan sebagainya.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So what is your thought about Wattpad? You know, like
Actually,
teenagers,
yeah,
youngsters love Wattpads, right? So what is your thought about that?
actually, I want to go there, but still I don't have time to go to the Wattpad.com.
Yeah.
Tapi they are good writers actually. There are few good authors who the publisher who wants to avoid the sexual content kan, sexual kind of dark, kita panggil bukanlah sexual content, dark romance kind of books. Actually in US ke UK ada beberapa publisher yang macam tu, Mills and Boons, semua ni they focus on romance. Sebenarnya
Yeah.
okay. Sebenarnya romance book is a genre. Ada satu industri publication dan sebagainya. So but we should do in moderation and diligently. So Wattpad ni ada penulis yang bagus. I know 2-3 publishers who managed to get bestseller authors from Wattpad. So tapi betul lah. I don't know yet, so I can't comment. But Wattpad banyak penulis yang famous, yang famous sebab tulisan romance.
Because I think that most of us here have read it before, of
Okay.
course, right? So I think this is a bit sensitive question. Like why do you interest in Sufism? Because I saw that maybe that you have that interest in
Yeah.
Sufism, right? Yeah.
Actually, we started with okay. Personally, I love Rumi. So Rumi is a globally known person, author atau philosopher. Okay, Sufism. Actually, there are many kind of definitions, but for Sufism, but there in short, like it makes us better. It makes us, I mean, how to say, we clean ourselves by thought. Okay, we clean ourselves by thought, but of course, Rumi ni sometimes ayat dia, even in English, it's very romantic, it's very nice. But actually, he wrote it to get nearer to the God. Actually, so actually, of course, the nearer to the God. But actually, the best idea is to be a better person. So when we read, we think, we make ourselves better from within to be a better person. And when kalau in religion, if you become better person, you are closer to God. So itulah Sufism. So I love Rumi, Khalil Gibran, but Khalil Gibran is not a Sufi person, but I think he had the influence.
Okay, so I think that back to the like your publication just now. That how do you attract authors to be under your label, like under your publications?
Actually, publication, there are a few things to attract authors, like royalty. Royalty is like you write your book, you publish, the total sales you get like 8 to 10%. Even with movie rights, animation rights, selling rights. So there the royalty percentage there. So macam writer,
6, 7 atau 10, 15 pun ada. Like biblio kita bagi 15. So those are royalty. So we need to be on time with royalty. And then second, cover kena cantik. Cover kena cantik so that it attracts future writers. And nowadays, authors atau writers, they choose publisher based on the cover, how they promote. Yeah. So promotion, that's the third thing. And fourth thing is like what you do for the author. Like sometimes you can do a MPH or Kino, the other bigger bookshops. You can do a meet and greet session there. So they are very open actually. If your book is good, usually MPH, Kino, that kind of bookshop, they are very open towards giving you a space to do your meet and greet and signing session.
So like if one day like in the future, there's a maybe like new author wanted to join your label, will you and they don't have any like any knowledge or any informations about how to become an author. So will you do like any workshop for them or start up any training?
Actually, we did a lot. Since we focus on translation, we have translation, bengkel translation. Then kita juga ada bengkel penulisan. We have like a bengkel. Yesterday I was talking to someone. So we plan to start this new thing where we give them like a 3 months training, and the 3 months must end with a book. Like they must be an author by end of 3 months or 4 months. So I'm working on to make them a real author. Not only they sometimes ada orang datang bengkel, but we did some bengkel penulisan, and some of the author they publish with other people like other publishers. But ada satu bengkel ni, I think 6 orang dari 6 orang tu, I think 6 ke 7 from that 6 to 7 person, 4 atau 5 dah jadi penulis. Yeah, and one more, they are still writing. They haven't finished. Kira dia pun dah jadi penulis, but he haven't complete his manuscript. So these are the success stories of our bengkel penulisan and terjemahan. But actually, for anyone who wants to be author or bookseller or book publisher, you need to keep reading and keep finding your own niche, even as an author. Yeah. Kalau boleh follow trend pun boleh, tapi kalau boleh try to create new trend.
I see. So okay, right now I will open the question to any audience that wanted to ask any questions. We can ask, feel free to ask. Mr. Kiwi Darren? Okay, there at the back. Cannot hear.
So
sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on adapting books to other media formats such as films, television series, or whatever?
Okay, I think actually we have like how this foreigners kan, they have their own classic. Kita pun ada classic kita. So I think first we need to make it into like short Netflix series, drama pun boleh. But drama, I believe like if you want the younger crowd, can try Netflix series, drama and movies. There are some books that became movie, okay, but personally I think that we should go for the 4th version animation. If we can if we can make our classics, our famous author punya buku jadi kartun, jadi animation dan sebagainya, kita akan reach lebih ramai orang lagi. I'm not sure you pernah tengok ke tak? Do you know the Journey to the West? The Monkey King tu. Dia itu famous for China ni ada famous for. It's one of the four of the famous classic. So they did in English, they did in animation. They even have YouTube. So they even do cartoon for kids. In other language, in China tu dah banyak. I mean for other countries. So I think a few people here who are like now they're 30s or 29, 28, 27. So when we are young, we boleh ada drama yang tu lah Chinese, but I think they speak in Cantonese. I think they speak in Cantonese and then ada subtitle Malay. So it's a very very good drama. Mungkin sekarang dah ada masuk dalam YouTube. So I believe it's a very very good thing to do.
So, any more questions? There. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You need to find something that you really love to read. Curious, actually. The answer is curious. Okay. I'm sure we have different hobbies. Okay, we have different hobbies. Actually, reading it starts from reading online. When you can read a lot of things online, you will want to read in depth, more in detail on the books actually. So, for example, you love war. There are people yang suka lagi niche. We call this niche interest. So they start collect. I know someone who collects war books and dia jadi tapi they do small they do their own apa ni? They do small version of bookshop, like digital bookshop. He only sells war books and most of the books are the ones that he read. So those are on war. So anything on war, you can ask them, that kind of person. And imagine if this kind of person, or when you read something, it opens up a new opportunity for you. So we won't know if anyone wants to do a war movie in Malaysia, director kan. Tapi dia cari someone yang pandai pasal war. Dia kena ada proof. Kalau buku, kita panggil proofreader. So sometimes war movie, kita ada proofing juga. So they want to make sure semua benda perfect. Dalam movie tu kan pasal perang. So they need someone who loves perang. Kalau history, pasal history. So when you're good in war and you have money, maybe let's say, so you can go for degree ke, master ke, like further your studies. So these are the opportunities. So first you need to have a own niche, own favorite things, and build on that. And then of course, occasionally read other things. When you are young, read the books written for young people, no problem. Mungkin ada orang lain, orang yang lebih berumur, lebih tua, criticize or those. It's okay. Start simple, start normal, start with something that you love. Okay, something trendy. Then you go for the deep ones, something you love to indulge in. Tapi sekarang dah tak ada contoh you love baking. I think someone definitely there'll be people who love baking. Tapi sekarang dah tak ada buku on baking. Sebab after YouTube, by the way, after YouTube came out, 80% of recipe book kan, semua collapse like around the world. YouTube, now TikTok dah ada. TikTok, you can learn how to cook in 1 minute because I did it. TikTok, let's say lah you type chicken curry for example. So the video, I don't know, they shorten it to 1 minute. You can learn, like you can just pause and cook, so you can learn in 1 minute.
Yeah, true.
So those kind of things. That is why when we focus on social media, TikTok, if you put in good use, it can help your reading. So and then you have to have a goal of reading. Okay, don't just read for the sake of reading. Sometimes yes, fiction memang macam tu kan. Tapi what I mean is for long term, build interest and then try to read 2 to 5 pages for beginner lah. And then later on you can go for 5 to 10. So when you have time, like maksud saya time kan, when I travel, in flight, usually I can read 1 or 2 books in the flight, on flight actually. So let's say 6 hours kan boleh habiskan 2 buku. But believe it or not, bukan baca saja. Of course, I watch kan, sometimes Mas ada TV tu kan, yang the small TV. So I still manage to finish 1 movie and I still can finish 2 books. Sebab concentration tu, sebenarnya jawapannya concentration. So in 2 hours, if you really concentrate, you can finish a book actually. Tapi of course, it's hard to concentrate out of the flight. Like sebab phone kita ada line, social media. So tapi you can start with 2 to 5 pages a day, maybe morning and night. Itu dah 10 dah satu hari.
So there's one question from YouTube, man.
Okay.
Is from Ellie Juliana. She asks how to participate in bengkel penulisan. I'm interested.
Okay. Nanti you can follow us on 2 account, social media, IG pun okay, TikTok pun boleh. So Biblio Buku. The brand is Biblio. So on Shopee pun ada Biblio. So on IG, Biblio Buku is the bookshop. Biblio Press is the publication. So any bengkel dan sebagainya kita akan post pada IG. IG and Twitter. Twitter is the same, Biblio Press, Biblio Buku.
Okay, so there's one last but not least. This is a question from me itself. Like during pandemic, right? Like how do you sustain your business? Like how you manage to remain the
Correct. 2018-19 kan, I told that I go a lot of many times to Indonesia. So 2020 April, March, if you remember, 2020 March kan pandemic, PKP, the first PKP. So I just arrived in Malaysia from my last trip to Indonesia sebelum PKP. So after PKP dah pergilah. So sebelum PKP, I forgot so sebelum PKP, I just arrived 10 days or 14 days sebelum, 10 days I think, sebelum PKP dibuat. So I just that was my last trip before before 2020 March. So while we are in Malaysia March kan, so I couldn't go Indonesia, I couldn't get more books. So that is when and I focus on okay, never mind, kita jadi publisher after I opened the bookshop on July. In July. So from then I started become the publisher. Sebenarnya during pandemic, if you're online bookseller, your sales will be much higher. But the problem is when you have physical bookshop. When you have physical bookshop, the early stage government didn't allow for any physical premise to buka kan. And then later on, after pressure, slowly they started to open. So the physical bookshops, they open up their Shopee and they manage to survive by paying the rent, but still not enough actually. But after kalau physical premise, and especially yang ada chain bookstore yang ada 20 branches, even the mall 5 pun sebenarnya mahal rental. So that kind of operation, that kind of public, that kind of bookshop or company, dia memang suffer lah, to be honest. Tapi if you are a online bookseller, PKP or during the pandemic, the sales was good. And 2020 July, I opened up the shop. I think after that, if I'm not mistaken, pandemic dah dilonggarkan. I can't really remember, but I remember August, a lot of people coming to the shop. So it helped us to survive.
So I think before we wrapping up, is there any word that you wanted to say to the audience today and to the Unirazak and to our advisor? So maybe any words.
Okay. I understand that not everyone is a reader. Kalau tak Malaysia 20-30% adalah reader kan. So Malaysia average lah sekarang, average 9 to 10% of 34 million macam tu kan. So 9 to 10% of us here approximately are readers. So I really hope that 90% yang lain pun boleh read something that you love. Sebenarnya banyak genre reading is not boring, trust me. Tapi of course kita kena baca something that we like. So when we read something that we like, it won't be boring. And then second one, not a big word or something like that. Focus on what you love. Be very persistent. For mungkin survival tu, we can do some survival job, but always chase what you love to do. Yeah. So this one is from my bottom of my heart. Sebab I was like you as well. Sometimes clueless, sometimes I have a plan, but most of the plans we need support, financial kan.
Yeah, true.
So the most important thing is try to be strong on your interest. And of course finish up your studies. Studies tu penting sebenarnya, but find your own interest, be strong. Kalau nak survival tu boleh masuk kerja sekejap, but always be strong on your interest.
Yeah. So I would like to say thank you for Mr. Kurdaran for attending today's event and share your experience with us. And I would also like to say thank you to Uni Razak for giving me this opportunity to become a moderator today. So before we end, I would like to invite Sir Sadiq for the giving session, and we will continue with the photography session afterward. Thank you.
Whatever.